Today, we are joined by online teaching guru. She launched the Academy of Culinary Nutrition several years ago. Well over 2,000 certified culinary nutrition experts taught. Meghan Telpner, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Meghan, is absolutely my pleasure. It is absolutely amazing what you have created over the course of the last decade. And I want to kind of backtrack. I want to go back to the future a little bit here. Nutrition had a very significant impact on your life. But when did you decide that you wanted to take your personal experience and give it back and teach others how to replicate that?
Absolutely. Good question. So I experienced a health crisis in 2006. And that was what inspired me to sort of take ownership over my health, go back to school and study holistic nutrition. And after going through an incredible program, learning so much, I felt inspired to share this knowledge. And the best way I could think of to do that was over the dining room table and inviting people into what was my home to cook together and share a meal together. And that was the spark that ignited the cooking school. So I was running in person classes here in downtown Toronto for about 4 or 5 years until we started transitioning them online. And that's sort of where it began and grew from there.
Love that. So I'm just curious, was there a point where people just kept asking you, Meghan, how are you getting this result? How are you feeling so good?
Well, I think part of it was that I'd had this experience. So in 2006, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is an inflammatory bowel disease. And to this day, now 14 years later, you'll still be told there's
Right,
no known cause, no known cure.
right.
And because I'd experienced a complete reversal of this disease and have remained asymptomatic till now, it was that which was the catalyst for me wanting to basically shout it from the rooftops that we can change the trajectory of our life, fulfill on our optimal potential if we change the way we eat. And so I wasn't shy about sharing my experience. I wasn't shy about sharing, the catalyst for this, which is, what's at the end of your fork, will have a greater impact on your health than anything else and the thoughts we think. And so that was what motivated me. And I also believe that if I was going to come out of this saying to people, well, you have to eat this and you can't eat that, no one was going to pick up what I was throwing down. So I had to make it fun and engaging. And the best way I could think of to do that was to build community around it. And so we built a community here in Toronto in person. And then as the demand grew, I was writing a blog and people were saying, can you video your classes? I'd love to see what you're teaching. Can I just get the recipes? And that was what inspired us to try. And I say us, it was really just me at the time, but inspired me to experiment with going online. So we launched our first course online back in 2012. We actually did our first live stream class, I think around 2011. And we at that point, had to bring in like a full crew to make this happen. Like you couldn't just like open your phone and go live to whoever wanted to see it. So we started experimenting with that. And I loved the platform of it. I loved that form of media, that way of sharing it. And it came really naturally to me, sort of understanding the back end and the tech side, and then also how to present in an engaging way. And that was sort of how it evolved to what it is today.
So this makes a lot of sense to me. You were true. I think this is really important. I think when you're getting into any sort of niche, is being true to yourself, doing something that you are certainly passionate about, because people can vibe and they can feel that they can kind of sense that realness, right? The realness. But one of the things I think that's really interesting about your story, Meghan, is you started in real life, sitting at the kitchen table, like you had mentioned, because I think nowadays digital course building has become kind of like the hot topic. It's the hot word. Everyone wants to build this digital course because it's passive income. They just set a course, they never have to touch it again. How important do you think it is for course creators to start in real life before they go digital? Do you think that's crucial?
I think there's a lot of value that comes from interacting with humans.
Mm.
So, presenting your material, finding your voice, finding your groove, getting comfortable in front of an audience, and also being able to learn their reactions and their responses and be able to play off that. Because there is nothing harder than teaching to that little green light on your computer or to a flashing red light on a camera that's recording you. And even when you have a crew in the space, like they're focusing on the technical side, they're not listening to you. So, being able to teach in an engaging way, um, that you have to fill in the blank in your mind of the reaction from your audience and be able to anticipate the questions they're going to ask so that you can answer them before they ask them because they can't, because it's unless it's, live and interactive all the time. And also recognize what they want to see doing different things, especially if you're doing a teaching or a practical skills type program, like, I teach cooking, or if you're doing flower arranging or crafting, or that type of thing. You need to anticipate what your audience is going to want to see and make sure that's what they're seeing and that's what you're demonstrating. Because if it's live and in person, someone's watching you, they can, crane their neck to see, or raise their hand right away and be like, can you do that again, or can you repeat yourself? So I think there's definite value in gaining that confidence and experience in whatever the material is and the topic that you're teaching in a live type setting, as close to live as you can get. Even now when we can't necessarily gather in large groups close together, if you can do a Zoom meeting as a teaching mechanism where you can actually see people's reactions and have some level of real-time engagement, that can be a really beneficial use of time as you're, quote, workshopping whatever it is you want to transition into a more evergreen style or professionally filmed course where it's a lot more difficult to make amendments and corrections later on.
Right, right. And I mean, the quality of your content is absolutely spectacular. You can check out a lot of what Meghan is doing on YouTube at Meghan Telpner on YouTube. It's very, very impressive. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed this episode. I've got several other episodes right here for you. Smash one of these videos to make sure that you don't miss out on the tips, tools, and tactics of industry experts. Let's take that side hustle full time. Smash one of these links.